Turning now to works at the Robert Llewellyn Battery International Airport. I am advised by the chairman of SCASPA that we are making steady progress. And he has advised me that the welcome center, the arrivals welcome center, is now 70% complete. That the arrival hall, the immigration area, is 90% complete, partition already erected, with only 2 sets of doors left to be installed. The medical screening room that has been established or set up at our hospital, that is already sorted and nigh 50% complete. What we have done there at the airport, we have transformed what hitherto was a VIP lounge into the medical screening room. The medical center has also been established apart from the screening. So if the screening goes awry, something untoward is developed, you are then transferred into the medical center for isolation for further tests. That, I am advised, is 75% complete. The civil works, including the sewage plant infrastructure, 80% complete. In sum, SCASPA is confident that they shall be ready for the opening on October 31st, and they are still on target to complete on August 26th those transformations that are required at our airport. As part of our preparation, we have taken steps to ensure that we become part of regional and international initiatives that could bring additional resources to help us defeat COVID-19. And in this regard, on September 10th, I participate in the inaugural meeting of the Access to COVID-19 Tools Branded Accelerator ACT-A Facilitation Council as a government member representing the CARICOM community. This is an international organization being led by agencies of the UN system, and in particular the World Health Organization, with support from the European Union to ensure global access to the basic tools required to fight COVID-19. ACT-A is a groundbreaking international collaboration that has 4 pillars or tools. We have to have the right diagnostics. We need treatment. We need vaccines. And we need to strengthen health systems. Those are the 4 pillars considered universally applicable if we are going to fight and defeat COVID-19. The overall goal of the Accelerator Facilitation Council is to speed up an end to the pandemic by supporting the development and equitable distribution of the tests, treatments, and vaccines that the world needs to reduce mortality and severe disease, and to very quickly restore full societal and economic activity in the near term, while facilitating a high level of control of COVID-19, of the COVID-19 disease in the medium term. Short term then, we want, as it were, to reduce death, severe disease, and of course to get our economies opened back up as soon as possible. Ultimately, from all the predictions, not ultimately, but from all the predictions we face, the expectation is that COVID-19 will be with us for the foreseeable future. COVID-19 for sure will not adjust to us. We must adjust to COVID-19. And that is why we continue to remind our people day after day, week after week, month after month, it is not over. Do not let your guard down. Common sense approach to a health pandemic. Wear your mask. Practice frequent hand hygiene. And observe social and physical distancing. Avoid the parties in the rough and tumble, whether they are privately held or in public spaces. Avoid them. It makes no sense to go to them and say, Lord, over there was bad. Makes no sense. From the time you go to any of those places of entertainment, the bars, the restaurants, you see them crowded. Go fast. Go fast. It is a common sense approach of self-empowerment against a major challenge that has impacted the world everywhere. Over 38.2 million people and counting have been infected by COVID-19. Significant reduction. In our OECS region, we are saying that our economies would decline an average by about 15%, the most significant and dramatic fall in economic activity in the last perhaps 50 years. In this context then, COVID-19 is not just a health challenge, it has morphed into one of the most severe economic challenges the world has ever experienced. COVID-19 resulted in some 30 million people being put out of work in the United States of America. St. Kitts and Nevis, we had over 5,000 persons being displaced in manufacturing and tourism in particular. Luckily for us, we have been able to move. We have about 90% of all those persons who are involved in manufacturing back out to work. And every other sector, save for the hotel sector, is now opened up. Whether it is agriculture and fisheries, retail, wholesale, construction, we have been able to move very safely with respect to this. Another major development as it relates to the COVID-19 tools, the necessaries, is in fact what has been described as the COVAX facility. This is the COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access Facility, which provides an opportunity for member states like St. Kitts and Nevis to benefit from a portfolio of vaccine candidates using a range of technology platforms produced by manufacturers across the world. It provides member states with early access to safe and efficacious vaccine. Efficacious means effective in another way, that it produces results, because you will have many types of vaccines on the market. The question is, are they safe and do they deliver? When they are determined to have delivered, we say we have efficacious outcomes from the application. And so that is what this COVAX facility is intended to do. How do we ensure that all over the world, not just in America or United Kingdom or France or Italy, that are at the forefront of the experiments now to bring the vaccine, how do we ensure that the rest of us are able to participate and to have access with this. As part of our commitment to do the very best that we can for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I can report that the St. Kitts and Nevis government has signed on to the Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunizations so that we can have access very early to vaccines. I am advised by the Ministry of Health that we submitted our signed commitment with Gavi, that's the Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunizations, on the 18th of September 2020, and confirm our participation in that facility. Participating comes with a cost, no matter how small you are. And in our context, we had to pay upfront, and the vaccine is not yet available. US $223,660. So that is close to 600,000 EC dollars. They said that is what we have to pay if we want to be able to access the vaccines when they become available. Fortunately, through good lobbying efforts, we have been able to get CARFA to pay $96,163 of this amount on behalf of the Federation, and the government has paid the remainder of that amount, US $127,497, $127,497. So your government, thinking ahead, understanding the landscape, has invested just under $600,000 to participate in a global facility to make the vaccine available to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We are putting your health first. The final matter with respect to our preparations for the opening of the country on the 31st October, to which I want to make mention, is the COVID-19 app. Recall that we have said that the science is saying you need to have 4 critical tools: vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and you have to strengthen the health system. I suspect this one, AG and Minister of Health, will fall under the strengthening of the health system. The COVID-19 app, which we are providing for, and which I'm advised will become part of legislation, is a smartphone-based app that facilitates the case management of individuals affected by COVID-19. This case management app facilitates the identification and documentation of individuals who contract COVID-19 along with their known contacts. It will capture the relevant demographic data and ongoing health status changes of these individuals in almost real time. So through that app, they can know if your temperature is rising, your condition has worsened, or there has been improvement. They can know where you're at also. It allows for almost real-time communication between affected individuals and the public healthcare team. The geolocation-based function of the app, when activated voluntarily in jurisdictions where it is legally permitted or mandated, enables the public health team to facilitate the quarantine of affected individuals and their contacts at home or in any designated facility. The function allows the public health officials to monitor whether the individuals and their contacts have traveled or ventured outside their designated site of quarantine and to promptly initiate corrective measures. This is critical because the sooner we know that people are not complying, and the sooner we can respond to correct that, less persons we are able to contain the spread, less persons become affected and infected by the COVID-19 disease. During the duration of the quarantine, the app enables each patient to communicate with the public health center team daily and to notify the public health center team during any perceived emergency. The mobile app allows the team to send out messages to the general public. The last matter in that realm, Mr. Speaker, is one of legislation. How are we going to ensure that we have all of the tools, not just those scientifically determined, such as the vaccine, the diagnostics, the therapeutics, the strengthening of the health system, to ensure we keep every citizen and resident here in St. Kitts and Nevis safe? We need legislation. And in this regard, and the other paper today is a most important piece of legislation, the COVID-19 Prevention and Control Bill 2020, which is intended to provide a broad legal framework for us to keep the people of St. Kitts and Nevis safe, or to take action that will ensure their safety. Mr. Speaker, over the past 6+ months, we had relied on the powers granted to us under the state of emergency, regulations and laws to keep the country safe. They had empowered us to be able to lock down the country as required, instantaneously. It is a tool used in every country in the Caribbean. Trinidad under lockdown, the BVI, Grenada, everywhere. That was the tool that had been used to protect persons from others and from themselves. State of emergency, matter the Attorney General will perhaps deal with. There was a legal challenge, I'm advised, put by those opposite. And this critical tool in the fight against COVID-19, I gather the court heard the matter today. And I'm sure the Attorney General would be in a position by then to update us on the court verdict with respect to that matter. My sound mind tells me that every country, and St. Kitts and Nevis is no less, must have all, not some, all of the tools available to ensure that it can defeat COVID-19. It can prevent a spread of the virus, and no country worthy of existence would deny itself of any tool. The government I lead will not shirk its responsibility to keep the people of St. Kitts and Nevis safe and secure. And every tool that we can have, we will bring on board to help us to do so. Whether or not it becomes necessary to use them is a different matter. But we must never be found wanting. And we hope, and I hope, that every resident and every citizen will so conduct and behave himself or herself that by their own actions, we can all rest assured that our country is safe. There is no need for policing. There is no need for lockdowns again. There will be no need to impose state of emergency. But that is idealism. Only one person it takes to do the wrong thing. Only one person it takes who knowingly and even unknown to himself or herself have the COVID-19, go into our schools, go into our buses, go into our hotels, go to bars there, and we will be in a very sad position. That is why we cannot afford to deny ourselves any of the tools that will keep our country safe. So I want to, on this note, however, thank all our citizens and residents who, over time, have come to understand and appreciate the importance of following the rules. The rules, the protocols, by whatever name called, are intended to help us to survive, to live well, even in the context of one of the most dangerous pandemics, COVID-19, that we have witnessed. So all those who are wearing the mask, I look out in the gallery and I see all except one, wearing the mask, which is a good thing, because there will not be perfection, but we must strive to it. And to the extent that we understand that we ought to observe these things, Mr. Speaker, particularly in public setting, then the better for us. And so I want to compliment the public, compliment the police, because they've had the difficult job of, as it were, imposing upon people what instinctively, for their own survival, they ought to do. And of course, they will get a couple unpleasant words, but I want to thank them for being firm and to appeal to them. No mask, no entry on the public transportation. No mask, no entry in your shop, etc., etc. We have to begin to practice it. And we are not advocating wear the mask until you're dead. No. There are going to be instances where for your own relief, you have to remove it. Happens to the best of us. And all of us. Because the aim is to prevent you from eventually dying from it. So in the remedies you are taking, they can't expedite your own death. So if you're feeling suffocated, you take it off for a little while. You're walking alone or with family members in the open setting, it is okay. You're going into a shop, you put it on. You're going to the bus, you put it on. Where else do you go, Attorney General? Anywhere else? You're going to church, you should wear it. You're coming to the parliament, you should wear it. And as needs be, for your own comfort and peace, you remove it. And if you have special conditions, the regulations that we have implemented made exemption for people with underlying health conditions, and they are exempted from wearing it. So we are being very, very reasonable. Again, on that note of reasonableness, I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for enduring me to make a public statement on this critically important matter. Thank you.